welcome to Motorcycle Live 2025. Can you believe we have 46 manufacturers and exhibitors this year? I'm so excited to be checking out top bikes of 2026, including the Norton Manx R and the Atlas, the Bimota Tesi H2 Tera. There's also the new KTM Super Duke 1390 Evo, more importantly, the Honda V3 and CB1000F. I'm also going on the Expert Lab stage, really excited to be sharing some of the cool upcoming stuff that's happening with Ruby Rides, my bikes, and I'm also revealing a new bike. Come along with me and let's explore some cool bikes at Motorcycle Live 2025. We are reunited with the Norton Manx R. You guys have seen me talk about this bike at the EICMA show in Milan a couple of weeks ago actually, and it's so nice to see it in different color options. So this color is just a gorgeous turquoise color, but let's talk about the bike itself. It's a 1272 degree V4 engine with 206 brake horsepower and 130 newton meter of torque. And what's great about this bike is that, as they said in the presentation at the launch, is that less is more. So the lines are so minimalistic for a sport bike, forged wheels, single side swing arm, carbon trims everywhere, but this claims to be the best in its class. So when it comes to electronics, they claim to have the best electronic package in its class. So you've got 5 riding modes, 2 are track modes, you've got ACS, ABS, traction control, and it's also got adaptive cruise control, which is rarely seen. I don't think I've ever seen it on a Lita Super Sport. So it's that full package of performance, electronics, and gorgeous premium parts and styling. Also comes with an 8-inch dash. All the settings for the electronics is remembered by the bike. So every time you get on the bike, you don't have to reset all the electronics. Now, aesthetically, I think so far I've seen positive and negative opinions about the aesthetics. If you're used to the V4 SP, the V4 RR, this might look a little bit different, but ultimately the engine type is very, very similar, and it's almost the reimagined sports bike, and they use the word modernity a lot to describe the vision that they have for the bike and the vision that they have for the reimagined, resurrected Norton. What do you guys think? Is this up your street? How much do you think this would cost? Check out this new Honda concept that has already been manufactured and tested on track. This is the V3 R E-compressor. So it's a 900cc, and apparently the power output will be similar to a 1200cc bike. And what's cool about it is that it's built lightweight, so I can imagine the power to weight ratio would be absolutely crazy. But we don't know much about the power output in terms of torque and brake horsepower. All we know is that it's got an electric compressor. It's a 900cc V3, guys. There's only one other bike that Honda made with that type of engine, which was the NSR 400, and they brought it back on this V3R. What I love about it is the lightweight design, the hooligan wide naked bikes, and also, if you come with me, they've also made the front asymmetrical, so you can see this air intake there, and they are completely asymmetrical. So this could be a Marmite design, but I just think it's really cool how beefy and mean it looks when it comes to the design. The V3 there, you can see it leading up to the exhaust, and if you come closer this side, you can see the 3 exhaust outlets there coming from the engine. We've got super coursers in here, and you can see it's been ridden on track. Single-sided swing arm on a Honda. I love it. I love seeing Hondas with a single-sided swing arm, and it will just be so intriguing to know more about the bike and more about the spec, the power output, and of course things like the weight, I can see the brakes is Nissan. I don't know what suspension it's got, so it'll be nice to know more information about the Honda V3R E-compressor. Reunited again with the Tesi H2 Tera, and you guys have seen me film this at the EICMA show. Now, what is amazing about this bike, first and foremost, is that it has the engine of the ZH2. So it's a supercharged Lita engine with 200 brake horsepower and 137 newton meter of torque on a gorgeous premium body of Bimota with carbon fiber everywhere, billet aluminium everywhere. There's no conventional frame or a steel frame on the bike. The engine itself is part of the frame, and there is connecting aluminium elements that kind of sit on each other, forming a beautiful chassis linking to the rear swing arm and forming the frame. This is one of the unique things about the Tesi H2 Tera. Now, next we have the cool, distinctive hub center steering that Bimota love to do on their bikes. We've got a front swing arm, and then we've got the linkage from the front wheel going to the handlebars, connected by this clever technology there. They've adapted the front swing arm ever so slightly to the kind of riding that would be done on a bike like this, on a sports tourer. They had to have a larger turning circle on the handlebars, so they've had to adapt the front swing arm and curve it like that to adopt for that widest turning circle compared to the hub center steering system on the Tesi H2, where the swing arm is just dead straight. Ultimately, the kind of riding that would be done on a sports tourer would require the steering circle to be larger, and hence they've adopted the hub center steering. There's no conventional forks, so the suspension is all the way at the back of the bike. You've got both front and rear only suspension on that setup, and it's a premium semi-active suspension, and it's also got things like Brembo style on the calipers, upper wings, also got lots of carbon parts here and there. But what are the advantages of having hub center steering? So firstly, your suspension system, your steering system and your braking system are all working independently. It has that versatility to tune and customize the three systems independently, giving you a super personalized ride. When you're braking for a corner and you haven't got the conventional forks connecting the bike to the wheel, it means that the geometry of the bike is more consistent. So when you're braking or accelerating, the geometry of the bike is constantly changing as you're accelerating and braking. So when you're braking, it becomes a little bit shorter. But on this, with minimal diving, it means that you're getting more consistent geometry and more braking stability. So if you have braking stability and if you have consistent geometry, it means that you have more traction, which is what everyone wants on a bike. Other than the fact that it's a beastly supercharged ZH2 engine with 200 brake horsepower and 137 Nm of torque, it also has the advantages of having the hub center steering with the carbon fiber and the billet aluminium. Means that the weight is only 214 kgs, which is minimal for a sports tourer bike like this one. What do you guys think? How much would you pay for the Tesi H2 Tera? Let's check out this new KTM Super Duke 1390 R Evo. Now, this is exciting because it has 190 brake horsepower and it weighs only 200 kg. So the power to weight ratio is almost 1:1. This probably has one of the highest brake horsepower on a naked bike. Some of the cool things about the bike are the aerodynamic winglets, and it's equipped with premium 3rd generation WP SAT semi-active suspension. It's got 6 riding modes. It's equipped with Brembo calipers. I absolutely love the new shape. I love the refreshed look. And with KTM, as you guys know, they're all about bold, bright styling. So look at the styling lines, how sharp they are. It's got your typical KTM trellis frame, and it's got this bulky tank that a Super Duke is known for, and it really holds you in place. When it comes to the riding position, it's got this kind of like aggressive hooligan wide bars to really put you in a nice aggressive naked riding position. This, in my opinion, would be considered as a hyper naked because of the brake horsepower and the power to weight ratio. But not only that, I think the things like the launch control, ABS, anti-wheelie, MTC, slide control, quick shifter, everything like that really elevates the bike to the next level. What do you guys think? Is this the kind of bike that you would consider for 2026? Here we have the Honda CB1000F. Now, this is inspired by 1980s CB750F and the CB900F. What's the power output? Well, it has around 122 brake horsepower and it has 103 Nm of torque, and it only weighs 214 kg. So power to weight ratio on something like this is actually quite good for a neo racer retro styled performance bike. What's cool about this bike is that it has the previous gen 5-blade engine combined with retro and heritage styling, but also equipped with advanced 6-axis IMU electronics and dash. So you're getting the best of both. You're getting the best of performance and the best of the heritage and retro styling. What's cool about this bike is that it's equipped with premium Showa suspension. I absolutely love the fact that they've really kept that heritage and retro styling with the performance of a 5-blade engine. The price tag as well, starting from 10.5K, is reasonable considering you're getting a previous gen 5-blade engine with really sophisticated electronics and gorgeous retro styling. I think it's the full package for a great road bike. The Bimota KB4, guys, this has the engine of the Z1000 SX and the Z1000. So it has around 140 brake horsepower and around 111 Newton meter of torque. Now, what is different about the KB4? Is it just a Z1000 with a Bimota body? No, of course not, because Bimota have to leave their own touch on the bike. So traditionally you have a radiator at the front here, but they moved it all the way back there. Now, what is the advantage and why did they do that? Well, they wanted to break the record for the shortest wheelbase on a litre bike. So this has a wheelbase of 1390 millimeters. Imagine a midweight sport bike like a 600 RR has a wheelbase of 1370 millimeters. Now this is a litre bike with 1390 millimeters, which is super short for super sport litre bike. If you think about most super sport litre bikes, they're 1400 upwards. Okay, so the advantage of moving the radiator, well, the whole purpose of moving the radiator from the front to the back is to minimize the wheelbase, to make it an absolute track weapon and a corner machine. When you have such a short wheelbase, it increases agility around corners, and of course it reduces the weight. The purpose of moving the radiator from the front to the rear is to minimize the wheelbase, making it a super aggressive and super competitive track bike due to the short wheelbase. Now, when it comes to other stuff, so it puts you instantly in such an aggressive riding position with clip-ons, and you know, you've got things like billet aluminium yoke, and then you've got this steering damper from Öhlins. You've got a carbon tank cover and like a really uniquely shaped, almost a bit retro-y shaped double bubble here. You've got really cool pieces like that on the mirror, and then you've got a beautiful figure-hugging leather seat. It really hugs you in, and the tank is shaped in a way that really hugs you in. You've got matte carbon here, matte carbon there. The Oz forged wheels just increases the agility and the steering. I guess steering would be much quicker and easier with a super short wheelbase and with the forged wheels. I mean, this bike screams, take me on track, but it's covered with premium parts and it's just everything that you need on a track bike. And I think the combination of, you know, the Kawasaki's Z1000 SX and Z1000 with the Bimota flare and gorgeous gloss paint with carbon trims, it really creates a unique piece that is just beautiful and powerful, and it really combines style, exclusivity and performance. Not your traditional bike that you might see me on, but I had to include this bike because of the cause that it helps. I'm joined here by Melanie, and she's going to tell me everything about what they do on this bike. It's not just blood and organs. You mentioned to me, Melanie, a little bit about the breast milks. What is this bike typically used for? Which is actually a Yamaha FJR, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's FJR 1300. Different blood bike groups have different slight models, but the purpose is, although we're called blood bikes, it's not just blood we carry. So it could be medication, it could be stuff for hospices, etc. But what you'll see on the back of the bike is a milk box. And so one of the key things that we do as well is take frozen breast milk between the NICU units for mothers who are separated from their babies, so babies continue to have their own mother's milk. And also mothers who have too much milk and have used it up, they also freeze it at home, and we can collect from them at home and top up the milk banks basically. So it keeps, we always say we do from babies to end of life care basically as a blood biker, and people just don't realise that, but all run by volunteers across the country in multiple groups.
Yeah. And I must admit, I didn't even realise that this was not just used for blood. I think Martin mentioned that they use it for organs as well, and you're saying that you use it for milk. It's honestly such an honourable thing to utilise a machine like that to literally be able to save people in like critical conditions, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And the advantage of being on a bike, obviously, is we can filter through traffic, we can use bus lanes, so you actually get to the destination quicker than in a car. Having said that, though, although we're called blood bikes, there are groups, particularly in the north, who have vehicles because of the bad weather, so they can keep their service running as well.
Amazing. And what would you recommend if someone was to look into joining your charity as a biker volunteer?
Yeah, so if they just want to email into info@bloodbikes.org.uk, we can then put them in touch with their local group, and then they can go through more detail about what vacancies they've got, whether it's riders, drivers, phone controllers, because we've got to take the calls in to pass them out, or even if you just want to be a fundraiser and support your local group. Lots of activities you can get involved in.
Do you always look for new bikes? Do you come here looking for different new bikes, or you always stick to the models that you have?
Yeah, so we link out with all the sort of commercial dealerships basically, and just see what the options are. So we have FJRs, we have Hondas, Yamahas elsewhere as well. So it's a mixture basically. It's what other people do actually use their own bikes locally as well, where the groups are sort of dispersed and they can't all have a bullet bike effectively. So it's a mix. But yeah, if any manufacturers are out there, feel free to get in touch.
It's really interesting to learn more about it. So thank you for the chat, Melanie. And
where to sign up if you're interested.
Yes, 100%. Honestly, I'm going to look into it. Thank you guys so much. The Ducati Hypermotard V2 SP. This is an 890cc and it has 120 brake horsepower and a 94 Newton meter of torque. Tell us all about the Hypermotard.
This has got the new V2 engine in, which is 890cc.
890, yeah.
It's the first time I've seen it in the flesh. Beautiful looking bike.
Yeah.
Being the SP, it's got things like that Olin suspension.
Yeah.
It is at a premium price though. It's £3,800 more than the stock one.
Yeah.
It's £17,295. It's a lot of money, but I do think you're getting a lot of bike with Ducati. They are premium bikes.
They are.
70% of the torque comes in at 3,000 RPM, which is really low. So I think when you get on that gas, this thing's going to fly.
It's going to fly. I think the 94 Newton meter of torque with 120 brake horsepower, it tells you everything about how the bike will deliver the power. But what you told me earlier about the seat height might put some people off.
Yeah, so as you can see, Ruby's sat on the seat here, but it's 880mm.
And I've got one tiptoe and the other one hanging. So it is on the taller side.
And what's your height?
I'm 5'4" with the 28 inch inside leg.
But it's quite a slim seat though, isn't
Yes.
it? So even being perhaps a shorter rider, you can still adapt
I
well.
can still cope with this. I'm guessing the weight of it is not that much, so it'll be easy to kind of weight shuffle and manage it.
As far as I know, let me just check the board there, but I think we're 177 kilos
So light.
wet weight. I don't think that's including for fuel.
Yeah.
So it's a real manageable
That
weight
is
as
such
well.
a good way. And also, I love the indicators in the handguards. I
Yeah,
love
very
the
nice.
Brembo master cylinders, the Brembo brakes. I don't know how to pronounce that exhaust, Termagononi.
Terme.
That's an easy way. A Termi exhaust and...
Unfortunately, with the Termi exhaust, that is an extra. You don't get that with the SP.
course.
It's going to cost another £2,200.
Even on the SP?
Even on the SP. If you have the exhaust, that'll give you another 3 brake horsepower. It's 4 kilos lighter.
We have come to the end of Motorcycle Live 2025, and I must say, guys, this year's Motorcycle Live was an absolute blast. We checked out some of the cool bikes on display, but I feel like I also wanted to check out bikes that are not your typical manufacturer's bikes, something a bit different to show you the diversity and the variety of bikes that they have on display. Comment below your favourite bikes of 2026. Until next time, guys, ciao!
Yeah, I mean, they're always updated in newer versions. I'm not quite sure exactly on this bike. I noticed also the switch gears different to some of the earlier models as well. So I think that might be new as well.
I feel like the Hypermotard is one of those bikes that has changed a lot over the years in terms of engine size, and they're always changing them.
It used to be 950s, and then there was running the 6...
Even 1100 there was.
Is it the 695, 698 last
698, 939 and 950.
year?
Yeah.
And now we're at the 890.
Yeah.
So.
Would you have one? Would you consider one?
I would, yeah, I would. It's like I said,
Up your street.
it would make a great road bike as well as a great track bike, I think.
Yeah. With these slicks, definitely.
Yeah, especially with the slicks.
Well, thank you for crashing my video. It's been a blast.
You're welcome. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you
Thank
too. We have come to the end of Motorcycle Live 2025, and I must say, guys, this year's Motorcycle Live was an absolute blast. We checked out some of the cool bikes on display, but I feel like I also wanted to check out bikes that are not your typical manufacturer's bikes, something a bit different to show you the diversity and the variety of bikes that they have on display. Comment below your favourite bikes of 2026. Until next time, guys, ciao! Oh, you'll make it to the bloopers at the end now. You're part of the video now. The power outwork, the power out. Oh my god, I'm just filming.
Which camera are you looking
Winglets, it's reversed. Yes. What, Matt? Matt, are you okay? In what bit? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Go on then, on top.
Okay. My friend is here, look! But look who's there, Elise! Oh shit, how long has it been like that?
Oh, you can overlay it with a bit of footage.
I'm doing it again, I'm sorry.